1 leçon, 26th lesson. Que fait Monsieur Duclos le matin? Over here, le matin, it means the morning. Que fait, we know que is used to ask a question and it means what. The verb used is faire, which means to do or to make. Que fait Monsieur Duclos le matin? What does Mr. Duclos in the morning? Nous avons parlé de ce que fait Monsieur Duclos le soir. Le soir, it means the evening, pronounced as soir. Parler, it is the participle of er ending verb parler to speak. It becomes spoken. Ce que, it is again a kind of relative pronoun, but we'll see this in A2 later. For now, remember that as a connector, it means what. We have spoken of what does Mr. Duclos in the evening. Regardons le maintenant, le matin, quand le radio réveil sonne. Regardons, to understand this, the original verb is regarder, which means to look. Now, whenever we want to make a let us form in French, we want to say let us. In that case, first step is to take the nous form of the verb. With regarder, we have nous regardons, which means we look. Now, regardons will remain as it is and we will cut nous. So, we'll only be left with regardons and the meaning will become let us look. The rule is same for all the verbs. You can try it with any other verb. So, regardons le. Let us look at him. Over here, le, it means him. Maintenant. Maintenant means now. Le matin, quand means when. Le radio réveil. Radio réveil, it means alarm clock. Sonne, the original verb is sonner, which means to ring. Let us look at him now in the morning when the alarm clock rings. D'abord, it means first. Il se lève très lentement. Très, it means very. Lentement is an adverb meaning slowly. Remember that all the adverbs that end with ment, for that the pronunciation of ment is more. Now over here we have this verb il se lève. The original verb is se lever, which means to get up or to wake up. To understand this, we will have to look at a new topic which is called as the reflexive verbs or the pronominal verbs. Now, whenever the action is being done by the subject on the subject, it is called as a reflexive action. The name itself suggests reflection of the subject and the object, meaning that the subject, the doer of the action, and the object, which is the receiver of the action, are the same. In such cases, we have to use reflexive pronouns in our sentence. So first we will go through the reflexive pronouns and then we will have a look at an example to understand this better. Over here, the list of reflexive pronouns is given. Now remember that the same concept, it exists in English as well, but even if we don't use the reflexive pronoun, still it is fine. So usually we skip it. Let us see reflexive pronoun list is given, which show the reflexive pronoun is me. Me, it means myself. Tu, te. Te means yourself. With il, we have se. Se, himself. Se, herself. Se, oneself, ourselves. With nous, the reflexive pronoun is also nous, which is ourselves. With vous, again the reflexive pronoun is vous, meaning yourselves. With both the theys, il, elle, the reflexive pronoun is se, meaning themselves. So we have me, myself, te, yourself, se, himself, herself, oneself, nous, ourselves, vous, yourselves, se, themselves. Also note that me, the and se, they change to m apostrophe, the apostrophe, se apostrophe in front of a vowel or silent h. Now, let us also remember that these reflexive pronouns, they come in pair. With je, I cannot use the. That is incorrect. With je, I'll have to use me only. That is what we are trying to express over here, that the subject is the same as the object. To understand this topic better, we will take the example of the verb laver. Laver, it means to wash, and the reflexive verb is se laver, to wash oneself. Remember, whenever a reflexive verb is in the infinitive without any subject or it is not yet conjugated, then we put it with se. For example, je lave la voiture. Over here, my subject is je, which means I. Once again, je. And my object is la voiture, the car. Over here, the subject and the object, they are different. I and car, they are not the same, right? So, in this case, we do not use any reflexive pronoun. So, these reflexive verbs, they can also be used separately without any reflexive pronoun in case the subject and object of the sentence are not same. But in the second sentence, je me lave. Over here, je, it means to wash, me is myself, and lave is to wash. So, I am doing the action and I am doing it on myself. To show this, we use me, the reflexive pronoun. With je, we have me. I myself wash. And remember, in English, the position of this reflexive pronoun is after the verb, whereas in French, it is before the verb. So, we put me before the verb lave. Je me lave, I wash myself. For this, there is another example which you might already know. We have the verb appeler. Appeler, it means to call. Once again, I'll note it down. Appeler. Okay. Appeler, to call. Over here, in case I use it without any reflexive pronoun, I have written an example to understand this better. J'appelle Ron. Over here, je means I. Now I am Ria. So over here, je refers to Ria, appel is to call, and Ron, it means that is the name of my friend. J'appelle Ron, I am calling Ron. In this case, I and Ron, they are different people. Subject and object is different. Whereas in the second sentence, je m'appelle Ria, je means I and I am Ria, and the object Ria is also Ria. So in this case, I'll have to use a reflexive pronoun since the subject and the object are the same. Je m'appelle Ria, it means I am called Ria, or I call myself Ria. Remember, M-E becomes M apostrophe since appel, it begins with a vowel A. They have given us a whole conjugation of the verb se laver. Se laver, it means to wash oneself. Je me lave, I wash myself. With je, the reflexive pronoun is me. Tu te laves, you are washing yourself. Il se lave, he is washing himself. Elle se lave, she is washing herself. On se lave, one is washing oneself. Nous nous lavons, we are washing ourselves. Vous vous lavez, you are washing yourself. Il se lave, elle se lave, they are washing themselves. Let us go through some examples of the pronominal verbs or the reflexive verbs. Se réveiller, to wake up. Se lever, to stand up, to rise, which we saw above. Il se lève, he gets up, he rises. Se reposer, to have a rest. Se faire un café, to make oneself a coffee. S'appeler, to call oneself, which we saw over here. Se fâcher, to get angry. Se coucher, to lie down. S'habiller, to dress oneself. Se regarder, to look at oneself. Se prendre en photo, to take a picture of oneself. S'énerver, to get annoyed. Se casser la jambe, to break a leg. Now we will be able to go through our lesson. We are on line number 3. Il se lave, d'abord, il se lève très lentement. First, il se lève. Over here, il is the subject, and just now we saw that with il, the reflexive pronoun is se. And lève, se lever, is to get up. So he gets up very slowly. Il va, over here the original verb is aller, which means to go. Il va à la salle de bain. He goes to the bathroom, salle de bain. Il se lave, just now we saw se laver is to wash. Le visage, AGE at the end is always pronounced as age. S is in the middle of two vowels, it is pronounced as Z. Visage, it means face. He goes to the bathroom and he washes the face. Over here another concept is there. Now if you see in the translation on the next page, or even in English, instead of saying he washes the face, we say he washes his face, right? But over here the definite article le is used. For that as well we have a reason. For that we will have to look at note number 3. In French, we do not personalize the parts of the body like head, leg or any other part of the body. We do not use possessive adjective with them. Instead, we just use the definite article. For example, elle se lave le visage. She washes the face instead of her face. Je me brosse les dents. I brush the teeth instead of I brush my teeth. French supposes that if we have already mentioned the subject of the sentence, it is superfluous, means it is obvious that whose head we are talking about or whose body part we are talking about. Coming back to our line number 4, that is why le visage is used instead of sa visage or son visage. À l'eau froide, l'eau it means water, froide it means cold. Pour se réveiller, in cold water to wake himself up. Se réveiller, to wake oneself. Over here we are talking about Monsieur Duclos, which is he. So pour se réveiller, to wake himself up. Ensuite means next. Il se douche, se rase, et se brosse les dents. All of these three are reflexive pronouns. So next, he showers, he shaves himself, and he brushes his teeth. Les dents, it means the teeth. On the same page, we have note number 1. Now in French, when we want to make questions using what, there are two ways in which you can make them. One is by using qu'est-ce que, and the second is by inversing the position of the subject and the verb. For example, either you can say qu'est-ce que fait Monsieur Duclos, means what Monsieur Duclos does, or you can also say que fait Monsieur Duclos, what does Mr. Duclos. So in this case, what we are doing is that we are simply putting the verb after que and we get a question. Another example, qu'est-ce que vous mangez, what you are eating, or que mangez-vous, what do you eat. In this case, in the first one we are using qu'est-ce que, so the next format will be subject plus verb, whereas in the second one the format is que plus verb plus subject. Both of them mean what are you eating. The two forms have exactly the same meaning, the difference is simply the one of register. On the next page, the translation is also given. Moving on to the page number 99, where our lesson is continued. De retour dans sa chambre, il commence à s'habiller. De retour means back. or return of. Dans, earlier we saw it means in. Chambre means room. Over here we are using sa, which is our possessive adjective. Now we know in order to say his or her, we have three options: son, sa, se. Son is used with a masculine noun, sa feminine noun, se plural noun. Over here chambre is a feminine noun, so we'll choose the second option of sa. Dans sa chambre, in his room. Commencer, it means to begin. S'habiller, another reflexive verb, it means to get dressed. S'habiller. So back in his room, he begins to get dressed. Les jours de travail. Les jours, it means days. Travail, it means work. The days of work, or in English we just say work days. Il met une chemise blanche and cravate blue. Over here the original verb is mettre, which means to put. Chemise is shirt. Blanche means white. Cravat is tie. The days of work or the work days, he puts a white shirt. Remember that the adjectives in the French, they come after the noun. So blanche, white, it comes after chemise. And cravat blue, a blue tie. A costume gris foncé. Costume, it means suit. Gris, gris, it means grey. Foncé, it means dark. Gris foncé, dark grey. Il met, again the same verb met, to put. Des chaussettes, chaussette, it means socks. Chaussure, it means shoes. Noir, it means black. Il met des chaussettes et des chaussures noires. He puts the black socks and the shoes. Et un imperméable s'il pleut. Imperméable, it means umbrella. Remember, A-B-L-E, this combination is pronounced as able. You must have noticed it in table. S'il pleut. Over here, the original word is si. Si means if. When the next word it begins with a vowel, the C becomes S apostrophe. That is why over here, il, it begins with a vowel I. So what happens is that this C, meaning if, it changes to S apostrophe. Il pleut, all the weather related expressions, they are impersonal and they use the impersonal subject il. Over here, il, it means it. Et un imperméable s'il pleut. And an umbrella if it rains. Pleut, it means rains. Okay, once again, rains. Enfin, il prend sa serviette et descend dans la rue. Enfin, remember, en is a nasal sound and in is also a nasal sound. En is pronounced as en, in is pronounced as a. Enfin, it means finally. Il prend, the original verb is prendre, which means to take. Sa serviette, serviette, it means suitcase. Earlier we saw sa is, it can mean his or her, and it is used if the vowel it is feminine. If the noun is feminine. Et descend dans la rue. Descend, it means to go down. Dans, it means in. La rue is the street. Finally, he takes his suitcase, serviette. This word, it can also mean a napkin, and goes down in the street. On the next page, the translation is also given.